We're here, and you're not going to believe this story, ladies and gentlemen, with Julia Wax. She is a law student at Georgetown. That's Georgetown Law. Julia, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So tell us of what wonderful types of things are going on there and the great, profound speakers that they're inviting over there.
So tomorrow, until it was canceled due to quote-unquote weather, and I'll explain why in quotes in a second, Georgetown Law was going to be hosting a convicted terrorist on our campus. He was involved in the murder of Rena Schnurb in 2019 and is affiliated with a PFLP terrorist organization, which is a designated TRO. And as of last night, the Law Students for Justice in Palestine group on our campus posted that the event was canceled due to weather. But the university didn't notify us of this. It wasn't listed in any email. No student has any idea if the university was involved in this. It was just a statement that they posted on Instagram.
Now, the woman who was murdered, can you repeat her name and tell us what happened to her?
Yes, her name was Rena Schnurb. And Rena was hiking with her family when a bomb was detonated and killed her and injured both her father and her brother. And the man involved knew about this bomb, allegedly had a role in the creations or the getting of this bomb, and he was paid 70,000 shekels by the PLO.
So this woman is murdered. Was he convicted, this terrorist?
He was convicted of failure to report.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the plea deal that he took. However, they had other information about his involvement.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of his plea agreement, he admitted to being a member of the PFLP, which is a designated terrorist organization and has ties to other terrorist organizations.
Yeah, has killed people.
Yes.
Now, he was invited by one of these little terrorist front groups, in my humble opinion, and the university gave its rubber stamp to it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It took me looking at a flyer on campus and wondering why he was arrested in the first place, because it was advertised as Palestinian political prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
And I did some background research, and I searched Israeli media, and the first thing to pop up when I searched Israeli media was that he was a terrorist.
Now, what's the name of this on-campus group that was bringing him in again?
LSJP, Law Students for Justice in Palestine.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Is that part of Students for Justice in Palestine?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's the same group, just on the law campus.
And we know that's a huge organization that's backed by the most radical type of really Jew haters, Israel haters, I would argue even America haters. They back the BDS movement. They're involved in that sort of thing. And so they were pushing it, and it was sanctioned by the law school and by the general school of Georgetown?
So it wasn't necessarily even sanctioned. We just found out recently through an insider source, and the school has not released this statement publicly, but to inside sources, that they conveyed to the student organization, Law Students for Justice in Palestine, that they need to have the event with this terrorist postponed due to security investigations. They didn't even cancel it. They didn't even say that it was because that this man is a convicted terrorist. And they didn't even notify the students who have been leading the charge on this. We got this through an insider source. That's all we know.
Now I'm reading here from the
in Palestine.
Yeah.
Pardon. They had posted on their Instagram story that it was canceled due to weather.
Okay. Now I'm reading here in the New York Sun. Ribhi Karaja was the person's name, right? Spent 3.5 years in an Israeli prison for his involvement in the roadside killing of a 17-year-old Israeli woman, so she was a teenager. And students at Georgetown were given the opportunity to dine with this convicted terrorist, Students for Justice, a chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine. She's a member of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, which is one of the motherships, which is a designated terrorist organization. And basically, they've used the weather right now to duck this for temporarily, right? But it's not permanently banned, is it?
So I don't even know if they use the weather. It's not permanently banned.
So she may show up, you're saying?
He could still show up. They only said it was postponed. Mm-hmm. And, it should not take a student pleading to the leader of a foreign nation. I spoke with Bibi Netanyahu on Friday about this issue to get this convicted terrorist removed from our campus. I was able to give him a speech about this, and he was appalled.
I'm not sure he has any power to remove somebody from an American campus, but the American campus leadership has the power to do it. Have you been in touch with them by writing or text or conversation? And what have they said?
We've written to members of Congress who are also appalled.
No, but I'm asking about the university, not members of Congress.
They have not really said anything other than they're looking into the issue and that they're investigating it. And up until today, when, we've got this from this insider source, we've had nothing other than they're seriously looking into it. That's all they've said to us.
I mean, what's to look into? It took me 3 minutes to find out all I needed to know about this guy.
That's the question I have.
Okay, and you asked a while ago, and they haven't gotten back to you, correct?
Every time I've emailed them, the response I've gotten is, we're looking into this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, keep us informed about it. When they're done looking into it, we'd like to know what they found when they're looking into it. Have you offered to assist them with looking into it? Maybe you should. They're a little slow.
I've given them the sentencing documents from Karaja. I've sent them all of my sources, and that's all the response we've gotten, is that they're looking into this.
Julia Wax is a student at Georgetown Law School and minding her own business, and she finds out that a convicted terrorist has been invited to have dinner with students and to speak to students by a front organization with the Students for Justice in Palestine. And, excuse me, I just sneezed to the truth. And the administration at Georgetown Law and Georgetown overall doesn't seem to be very concerned about it. There's supposed to be a weather event. I think they call it snow here tomorrow. And so this group puts out a statement that it's been postponed, which does not mean canceled. Nobody's heard from the administration. Certainly Julia has not. So, Julia, my question is, you're on campus there. How are people treating you? Are they ignoring you, or it's not a problem, or what?
After October 7th, a lot of my relationships with friends and the school changed. I mean, I had students telling me that Hamas doesn't kill babies. LSJP released a statement that October 7th was an act of justified resistance. Students in a student group had said that they physically threatened students who openly supported Zionism or any kind of conservatism ideology. There was a student who had said that she was going to pug or slunch a student for drinking Starbucks or eating Chick-fil-A on campus, and that violent resistance is a justified means of resistance. And each time that I've gone... Can
I stop you one second? What does Starbucks have to do with anything? I don't get that one.
Because money from Starbucks somehow gets back to Israel. And that's supporting Zionism.
I didn't know that. And
Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A is an organization that has religious values.
Christian. Yep.
Yes.
So you're on campus, and so you've lost a lot of friends. Do other people say anything to you? Yep.
I mean, someone had told me that in class one day that Hamas doesn't kill babies. I mean, I have another friend at the undergraduate school who was told that she could go kill herself. These are incidences that occur, and the administration, when we go to them, it's kind of just a neither here nor there. They claim the First Amendment. They claim free speech.
No, people are threatening you. I can tell you that's not free speech. Hate crimes are not free speech. Threatening you or creating a very hostile learning environment, that's not free speech. They know that. That's called intimidation.
I would agree with you. And I mean, especially in regards to the statements about Chick-fil-A and Starbucks, I was really concerned about those, and I went to the administration with those, and they said they would look into it. I spoke with...
By the way, they're busy looking into a lot, aren't they? All they do is look into it. They never give you an answer.
No, I mean, here I am 2 months later after that incident with, no response on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, is there student government there? And let me guess, the student government's hard left?
Yes. The student government, there's a student government as well. They actually just passed a movement that almost seems somewhat pre-BDS, so to speak, actually, back in the fall. And that was basically them saying that Georgetown should publish everywhere that they're investing in, because they want to see where their money is, quote unquote, being invested, so students can see if it's, supporting any foreign war crimes or slavery or, violating any international law aspects. But when we look at this document and we look at what it really is, this is always the first step in BDS, because these people, they say that Israel acting in self-defense is an international crime.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the next phalanx of lawyers. Isn't that going to be swell? What kind of law do you think you're going to get into?
I'm thinking constitutional, or I'd like to be a prosecutor one day. Those are the two avenues that I'm exploring currently.
Very, very good. All right. Well, we appreciate it. If this guy comes back, or you hear that he's coming back, let Mr. Producer know, and we'll get on it. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
I'm not looking into it. We're going to deal with it if we need to. You get my point. So,
yep, I do.
You take care. Thank you. You're very brave. We appreciate you.